Hello. Welcome to an incredibly special session of Broadwaycon. I'm going to be a little bit selfish and say especially for me, because this is a combination of worlds that I don't know that I ever dreamed possible. This show, for 2.5 years, has been delighting audiences in London. For 9 months here in New York City, it's been thrilling everybody who sees it. In Australia, it's opening on January 18th. It's coming to San Francisco this fall. It's even going to Hamburg early next year. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child has been called a triumph for theatrical magic on a scale heretofore unimagined. Time says it leaves audiences gasping in wonder at the magic of it all. I've been a Harry Potter fan for 20 years, and I can honestly say that it is the thing that makes you feel like you are, for a brief moment, actually inside the magical world. So, it is the most awarded play in theatrical history, as a matter of fact, breaking records in Harry Potter style. So I hope you'll help me give all of these wonderful people a warm welcome. First up, Poppy Miller, or Ginny Weasley. Ginny Potter. Sam Clemmett, Albus. Everyone's favorite bread lover, Anthony Boyle. Alex Price, who plays Draco Malfoy. Jamie Parker, known for Harry Potter. Noma Dumezweni, Hermione Granger. I asked her to make sure I was doing it right, and then of course I stumbled. Paul Thornley, Ron Weasley. So as a reminder, throughout the first part of this panel, we are going to be collecting your questions via Twitter with the hashtag BWayConHPCC, so make sure you're doing that. Well guys, welcome to Broadwaycon. It is such a delight to have you here. You guys are one of the very few full transplants from London in terms of shows. They don't usually rebuild it, and they brought you all the way over here. Sorry, it's an awkward phrase, but we're so happy to have you here. We do this at Mischief Management and at Broadwaycon with every person we meet. So I need to do one question where we just go around Mulberry Bush. What is your house?
I am a Gryffindor.
I am a Hufflepuff. Not a love for Hufflepuff. I'm a Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Gryffindor.
Thank you.
And you?
Oh, Gryffindor. Oh, Gryffindor. Yeah. But with like strong Hufflepuff leanings, like underneath it all. Yeah. Gryffindor. So I imagine coming over here as a group sort of helped with the transition and helped you guys acclimate to life over here. But what's it been like performing what you were doing for so long in the UK here in the smack center of New York City?
Loud, man. You guys are loud. Loud compared with London. Everything's louder. The gasps, the roar of the grease paint, the smell of the crowd, everything is just turned up to 11 over here. It's fantastic.
Absolutely true.
I think there's something consistent though, which is the quality of a Harry Potter fan, which is loyal, intense, intelligent, and very attentive. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yes.
So the show, as we know, is this enormous, incredibly beautiful spectacle. And for us, when we see it, we're finding new things all the time. What are some of the things that you as a group, or you individually, are always looking forward to each night? Obviously, without spoiling, we are still keeping the secrets here, but if you can let us know what kinds of things that you most look forward to as actors and as fans.
In the show?
In the show.
Right, who hasn't seen it? Oh.
That's a big...
Okay, there's a lovely little moment which comes towards the end of the first act. And it's all in 4 acts, 2 parts, part 1, part 2, blah, blah, blah. And it's a little change that happens for Ron, Harry and Hermione. And if those who know it, know it. And I take great pleasure in that moment, and it terrifies me every time, is all I'm going to say. That was really unhelpful, I know.
Anybody else?
We start on King's Cross Station. We can say that, can't we?
It's been in the trailers.
So it's a little moment for us all to be together right at the very beginning of the
Except
show.
for me, I'm
Except,
not
yeah,
in
there's
this
Karen.
And me.
Yeah. Apart from the Malfoys. But the first time we performed this in America, we did our little scene at the beginning, and I walked off and just said to her, "I love Broadway."
No, you didn't. You said, "I bloody love Broadway."
What was it? Was it the reaction? Was it the feeling?
Yeah.
Lots of clapping. Big fan of clapping.
I love clapping, love laughing, it's great. It's really helpful when you're playing someone who's really miserable for half of the play and is going through sort of all sorts of traumatic backstory and is trying to drum up a bunch of tears from somewhere. And Paul Thornley's having a lovely time getting lots of laughs.
That's the Ron Harry struggle forever. Harry's like, I'm saving the world, and Ron's entertaining. We're still in Keep the Secrets mode, as you know. It's been a couple of years you guys have been doing this. Do you ever find yourself just getting close to spilling? Because, yes?
Yes.
You want to tell us more?
The last one you did.
Yeah, the last Comic-Con, I
secret.
dropped a huge secret. I'm gonna be quiet now, so I don't really go.
What was it, Alex?
He was Isaac Clemmett. Nice try.
We find ourselves constantly terrified to talk about the show.
That's why we're all smiling to say this.
I remember when I was cast and couldn't tell anyone, I told everyone I was playing an Irish boxer called McGinty. That role really suits you, and I said, yeah, cheers, thanks lads.
The theater that you're in, it underwent such an enormous renovation. It's unlike, this is not what normally happens in a Broadway house or a Broadway show. How does being in that environment contribute to, and for those who don't know, I think I can say, it is incredibly transformed in every corner of the theater. Is a millions of dollars renovation to make it truly immersive. Does that bleed into your performance?
Absolutely, and I think I would love to be a punter here one day, maybe I will, because coming into that theatre for the show, and we can compare it to London openly and say this is something else. And if you've not been in those spaces front of a house before, you're just gonna want to stay. I mean, you know, I say things like, "Oh, well, if we got to the end of the world, I wouldn't mind being stuck in here for a bit." As long as I could, you know, eat the snacks in the shop. It's utterly beautiful.
They've set it up, yeah.
No, I just wanted to say it had a lot to live up to with the Palace Theatre in London, which was perfect for this play. And then the renovation did that and more.
It just sets up the experience, because you're right, it was like Paris, we're loving, it's Hogwarts basically. And then we walk into the lyric and see what Christine Jones and Brett Bernakis have done, and you go, I'm trying not to swear. Beat me! This is amazing, because you walk in, and I think I can say there's a beautiful artwork, which is the Patronus room, those who've seen it. So whoever hasn't seen it is going to go. Get yourselves taking a picture there, because it's just, the work is absolutely extraordinary, and you are going, before you even enter the auditorium, as soon as you go through the security and you walk into that foyer and you look up and there's space and the stars are there and the artwork's there, it's phenomenal what they've done. What we're experiencing as well, knowing that we're part of this experience in the Lyric Theatre.
Because the people that designed the show also designed the interior of the theatre, which I don't know whether that's ever happened before.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, even the carpets are Hogwarts.
Look out for the
Wallpaper. And I think this, the Patronus room Noma just mentioned, there's something about the generosity of those two designers, which is that they they commissioned those artworks. They didn't try and hold on to everything, they just got the very, very best for that space, and that's true throughout the production, I think, is that people bringing their excellence to the production on every level, yeah.
And it actually starts on the outside, I realised I nearly forgot, that extraordinary wing as you're queuing, you're waiting to see. That is not a secret, I can say that. And it's beautiful, because we just go, it is another commission, a great artist, and it's metal work, you go, that's beautiful. And the whole experience is beautiful.
And it makes the process easier, because 8 shows a week is no joke, and you guys have technically 4 times 2.
We have to live up to our environment.
Yeah.
That's it. We do. You have to step up. Yeah.
Well, it's really, really well done. I saw it in London and I saw it here. I'm a very, very
What
lucky,
did you prefer?
very lucky Harry Potter fan. They look kind of similar to me. I don't know.
Was our performances better in London or Broadway?
There's no difference. You were utter professionals both times. You're not going to get me on that one.
Nice work.
What's been something that's surprised you about performing in America? I know you said loud, but do you have any fun kind of, man, this would not happen in Britain stories, between whether it's meeting fans or something that happened during a show?
There was something that happened the other day. One of the cast members was picking up his car from the car park straight after the show, and he said, "I will never do that again," because he overheard someone say, "There's just not many songs for a musical." There's a spoiler right there for you.
Dang it.
I think the stage doors in London were very lovely, but the stage doors here are even longer and even more generous, and your commitment there to come to meet us and to talk about your experiences for the day, about the show, and your love for these characters is really amazing, and it's really stepped up here, which makes stage door even more enjoyable. I think it's another transition over here, which I'm enjoying a lot more.
I could say one thing, that you guys, the culture over here is not embarrassed or afraid about communal experiences, about throwing in your lot in a room full of complete strangers and just giving your whole heart and soul to it, and all of your imagination. That's a really beautiful thing. That's what I mean by loud being turned up to 11. You guys are a global constant. It doesn't matter where this show's going to be done, whether it's in Melbourne that's coming up, or it's going to be appearing in a bunch of other places as well. So there's definitely a through line, but in England there's always a bit of coaxing that needs to happen, to draw the English out of their shell. So that's a daily surprise and a daily delight for me.
Have you gotten used to being part of the greater Harry Potter landscape yet, having done this for a while?
I personally feel that the 7 of us, with this theatrical experience, first and foremost, I'm so happy that we still like each other after 3 years. That for me is the biggest thing, because as creatives and as actors and as sharing this experience has been phenomenal, and then we know that there's this bigger world, because it was Daniel and Rupert and Emma were the film versions of that, but ultimately this story is the books is where it all starts from. So we understand, all of us, the legacy of what we have to be part of through that line, and we're theatrical creatures, and that's been, yes, we are now part of this amazing world, it feels like, and that's from my perspective, definitely. And I think with my casting, it's definitely going, oh yeah, we could do that with theatre, we could do that with storytelling. So now I'm very, very proud of that. Thank you.
It's a lot. There's been 20 years of build-up to this moment, and so I can imagine it was a lot to come into. So you guys, I have heard tell, you guys can rip up a softball pitch.
Well,
do you want to talk about it, Paul? Alex?
We're terrible.
And the most joyous. That's what everyone says.
Yeah, I miss it so much.
Your commitment was amazing.
We tried so hard.
Alex and I were so committed to catching the same ball one day that I ended up with about 6 stitches of my right
on my elbow.
Yeah.
Your eye. was a good
And he caught it.
I caught it!
He caught it as well.
So for those who don't know, they play in the Broadway Softball League as the Fizzing Whizbees.
Go Whizbees.
We did beat Kinky Boots though, once.
Is that all we want? Oh, that was all we want.
Paul, did you get a prize? A big A1 for effort or something? You got a nice...
Yeah, we got
somebody made you a...
tried the best award or something.
Yeah.
That famous award.
But we got to keep the winning ball, obviously, and Julian, who is one of the dressers, lovely Julian, is also an artist in his own spare time. We've got the winning ball, signed Boyle, the Fizzing Whizbees, and he made a pair of wings, like on the nest outside the show, big logo. So there's a softball with a big pair of black wings on it now. It's kicking around.
Yeah, it's a snitch.
Yeah, a snitch.
Speaking of the nest, I hadn't planned this, but if you had to pick, and there's a great debate among us around Harry Potter, with Harry Potter fans, oh no, it's too keep the secrets, I can't ask it. I'll ask it on Twitter later. Sorry, it's too keep the secrets, never mind. Had a thought, spoilers.
Now ask the question and then we'll say we can't answer it.
Okay, so we can't answer it. And maybe you guys can tweet this at us or whatnot later, we can vote later. Who is the person in the nest?
We definitely cannot answer.
Can't answer it. As I thought of
Just out of interest, the child in a nest in London has their own Twitter account.
officially?
Well,
Or is it a fire? Somebody's out there.
Tweets like, beep-a, beep-a, beep. More ambulances today.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant account.
The internet is an amazing thing.
There's also a story that Jeremy Ang Jones, who played, can I say his character's name? Yeah, he played Craig Bowker. I still couldn't commit to it. Craig Bowker. And he was like outside the front of the theatre one night, and he'd been to the pub, and there was somebody climbing up.
This was me. I saw that. It wasn't Craig. It was me.
It was you.
I play your son. Yeah, listen to what I said.
It's just that Jeremy Ang Jones paid me money to get his name into this.
Jeremy was with me.
Okay, so you toast him.
In this story. There was a man. I was at the pub.
This was the day it went up, though, wasn't it?
It was the day it went up.
You've got 32 minutes to say.
There was these group of delinquents, and they were climbing into the nest. And I was with Jeremy Ang Jones and my brother, and I saw from across the street. I went, "Here, that's my play! That's my play!" He's like, "Get down off there!" And I had a big go at them then, and they put some spikes up there. No one try and climb in.
There is a picture of the person trying to climb, isn't there?
Yes,
Yeah.
It was taken by Jeremy.
That's Jeremy's story.
Jeremy Ang Jones.
Know his name. Well, this little bit I've taken pleasure in, because if that was a London company, what I will reiterate is our companies in London and here have been extraordinary, and I kind of don't say we enjoy each other's company, but the joy of being able to remember the people that we enjoyed our time with in London as well, and we're going to absolutely remember the people we enjoyed our time with here. That was my little romantic bit of the companies. That's really
Can I ask this? Do you all share the same theory about who the person in the nest is, or do you have differing opinions? Or do you not talk about it? About the nest again, who's in the nest. Do you all have an idea? Like, don't tell me who, because obviously that's a secret. But do you guys have different thoughts about it, or do you all just decide it?
I
Different
assume
thoughts, I think.
Oh, really? I assume...
I'm just trying to find out if the fan, we like to rip things apart and argue a lot. A lot. And I'm curious if that bleeds over into, since it's such a big part of your professional life, you might think at the end of the day, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I think I'm feeling a bit dim now, because I've always assumed it was a particular person. A particular person, but maybe there's a debate.
It's like a farce.
I get to spend the next 30 years thinking about it.
Sorry.
No, I like it.
What have you done to us?
I'm sorry. This is professional danger, we'll say. Jamie.
We're done.
this obviously isn't like the books where it's Harry's story alone. I think I can say that with confidence. What is it
We
like?
don't have any narration in this one. Like there's,
Say that again.
we don't have any narration in this one. Like if you had the bits in between the dialogue, it would be a lot longer than 6 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so funny. I'm so
Sorry,
funny.
there's a little, it takes me like a second, because there's like a little...
Say that.
Do you have to ask the question? You could ask someone who can actually form a sentence.
I'm just curious, and I'm sure you've answered this a lot. We can skip him. We'll go back.
He's very capable of speech. I think we should push through.
Okay, we're gonna push through. The Harry Potter that you were asked to portray, obviously by default, is very different than I mean, it's the same person obviously, but he has a lot of difference in him born of age. So can you explain what it was like trying to approach Harry Potter from a whole new perspective than you read in the books?
A different perspective from Daniel's interpretation, from the
From
movies.
Harry Potter as an entity, as a person
just
that we...
all from-
Yeah.
I just always saw it as a continuation, really. I mean, this might sound a bit strange, but picking up your life story from 19 years later, from when we're leaving off from when you were 17. I mean, that's not a very weird concept to me. I frequently feel like I'm still 17, or feel like I got stuck when I was 11, and you know, I'm still essentially that same little boy. That's not complicated or an imaginative leap to me, really, in any way. So I just read the books a lot, and picked up the play. You know, did what you do. You know, noticed the differences between me and him. Like, you know, I haven't got green eyes, I haven't got black hair, and I'm not a wizard. But we've got a lot of similarities, and so I just sort of found common ground and learned the lines and learned where to stand. Really, I'm not very mystical about it that way.
That's great, that's cool. That's all. Doing great.
It's a very English mic drop, wasn't it?
They're expensive.
Just an inch.
Noma, you obviously, and I'm sure you're tired of talking about this. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sure you're tired of talking about this, but I couldn't bypass how many more young women your casting in this show gave agency and representation to through the Harry Potter books. And now you get to meet them night after night. What is that like for you?
It's amazing. Because I do say this, growing up, I didn't see people who look like me. It's interesting, forgive me for advertising another thing that's just come out. It's Mary Poppins. And I've got a tiny, tiny little part, and I'm very, very happy. What's interesting for me, I love Mary Poppins. I grew up, as we all do, and that film is just, to be able to be part of this. And I've said to a few friends of mine, black and brown and other, going, isn't it strange seeing black people in Mary Poppins Returns? No. And I'm one of them. Well, it should be, and it is, but having grown up, not seeing that, going, we were always here. The world always goes on, but how we tell stories is the thing that changes how we receive information. So, absolute privilege and pleasure to have this, because that's what started it for me. That John Tiffany, Sonia Friedman, J.K. Rowling went, we'd love you to play Hermione in this theatre show. And therefore, and not just girls, boys as well, because I remember reading these stories in my 20s, and going, I know what Hermione looks like. I see, and that's what books give you. Books give you your own imagination. Books tell you how, well, you tell the book in a weird way.